Yeah, that was a very peaceful little piece of music. Hey, Don, how you doing?
I'm good, Jeff. How about yourself?
Doing pretty good. Pretty good indeed. You seen the title on there? I got it from across the pond because you're over across the pond.
Indeed, I
And
am. Yeah.
look here, Wolf of Wallstad is here. He's across the pond. Do you know Matt Keith?
No, no.
Ah, I was just checking to see if he might be free if he wants to sit up here with us and talk about whatever.
Yeah,
He
the more
hasn't.
the merrier.
Yeah, he hasn't answered yet. Not this evening. Okay, no problem, Keith. No problem at all. I just throw it out there. So it's been a while, Don.
Yeah, it's been a few weeks, indeed.
You've been working hard, though. I can tell. You look
Yeah,
haggard. I mean, not saying you don't look good, but you look very tired and overworked.
those things I am. Those things I definitely am. But I got 3 days off. Today was the first one. I got two more. Lots of work to do on the fish
Nice.
tanks and stuff in the next couple of days. Big project in the works. So yeah.
I can see that right behind you there. Hi, Uncle Smiley.
Hey, Joel.
Yeah, Joel's here, and I see right there. You got the stand right there to off to your right.
Yeah, yeah, that's my right. Yeah,
Yep, nice. And that's where some of the tanks are going to be, right?
yeah. I've got a 29 gallon right there. That's coming off, and I'm going to move the shelves around a little bit and put in three bookshelf tanks. So they're 3 foot long, 1 foot deep, and 1 foot high. So one of them is going to be a paludarium tank because it's got a chunk of glass missing out the bottom, and I'm not confident filling it up with water. So I'm happy to fill about a third halfway up.
Yeah.
And the other two are going to be for hopefully be picking up some form of Goodeids at the British Library Association meeting over here in Basingstoke on the 7th of June, which is a Sunday. So I'm getting the tanks all set up these days. Oh, there's Ed. Ed.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. I see you're talking about the goodies, and look who
Yep.
appeared.
Exactly. Speak the devil's name and he appears.
That's right.
It's, yeah. So I think I want to I want Ed to hear what my plans are for the two fish tanks I'm setting up, and certainly welcome his opinion on what my approach is going to be. But my plan is not only to keep and raise and introduce back into the community whoever needs them, whatever fish I pick up.
Hey, Joe.
Uh, but I've picked up with these tanks came some 24 per inch matin filters.
Ooh,
So right there,
the Swiss
and
tropical, right? Oh, look how thick they are.
no, no,
Nice.
no, no, no. This came with the tanks,
Oh, that came with the tanks.
and they came with jet uplifts. So I'm going to be putting one in one of my tanks, and then this arrived in the post today, which is
Ooh,
a cube filter from Swiss Tropicals, which is also 20 parts per inch. And what I want to demonstrate is how the difference between maintaining a big matin filter that measures 12 by 12 by a couple of inches and a 5 by 5 by 5 cube. Because I'm guessing that the matin filter is going to make one hell of a mess.
George.
Hi, George.
Hi,
Trying to
Alex.
get the matin filter out of the tank and get it squeezed out and rinsed and stuff like that and reinstalled. And I'm pretty sure that the cube lift from Swiss Tropicals is going to be a lot easier to maintain. So
I
it's
like
not
that
going to be
too.
it's not going to be a comparative which one does a better job because the surface area is going to be different, but they're both going to be running off the same air pump. But it's basically because people have been talking recently about matin filters. They seem to be making sort of a comeback, and I want to demonstrate how difficult I think they are going to be to maintain as compared to a more modular or a more compact a sponge filter, both with jet uplifts. So that's
And
my plan. That's my
who's
plan, and
yeah. Hello,
I'm
Joe.
going to run it.
Okay. Um, periodically while you're talking, I'm going to be rude and I'm going to say hello to everybody who comes. I just do that, so I don't want you to take
That's
any
what you
offense.
do.
I just kind of chirp it out there. Got
That's
Darian,
that.
see? Darian, and June. Okay.
Now
So,
you've got a project coming up as well, Jeff. You're resetting a 75 gallon.
yep. It's going to be a big
I'll
jump.
hear about that as well.
So what I need to do, oh, Muppet's here. Hey, Muppet, welcome in. Mr. George is here. 75 gallons. So right now in it, I did a little tour. Was it last night or sometime? Sunday night, I think it was. Yeah, I have one red zebra in Buna in that 75 by itself. So there's three other, there's a total of four. I got them all separated because you put, if you don't have like 8 or 10 of them, which I'm getting out of the Lake Malawi, Rift Lake cichlids. But anyway, I got to get him out of there. I'm going to put him into another tank with some other fish. He should be fine with them. And then what I need to do, I need to get a very fine mesh scoop. I want to get it so I can have the actual sand drop and just get all the snail. I mean, there's like empty snail shells and other like pea gravel that I don't want.
Yeah.
And then I need to get a nice big dustpan. I want to just scoop all the aragonite out. And then I gotta do some work on something like that. Yes.
It's just a sieve, an old sieve from dollar store.
Yep. Something like that. As long as it's big enough to let the aragonite fall through it.
Yep.
And nothing else. It's going to take a while. It's going to take. Somebody's asked me how long it would take to do that tank. To get it prepped, to get all that out of there and wipe down. Like, there's a lot of algae in the tank, but I'm not going to mess with that. I'm leaving it. That way, when I fill it, I'm leaving it right in there. And because a lot of the surface, I want to do it quickly so that all the bacteria on the surfaces doesn't die before I get a chance to.
Yeah. There's nothing wrong with algae on the side and back of a tank.
No, it's not at all.
Nothing.
I mean, I got it on the front. It's on the front too.
I think it's quite healthy.
Yeah, I got it all over the front too. It's got a lot of algae on it. That's just because
clean it off the front so you can see what's going on.
Yeah, I'll be doing that. But that's the only pane of glass that I'm going to be doing.
Yeah.
And it shouldn't be too much of a pain, but I'm sorry. All right. So yeah, I'll be doing that. And I will be. Hey, Cecil's here. Hey, Cecil, welcome in.
Cecil.
Yep, Cecil Mayberry, my good pal in Virginia. I agree with Don's appraisal.
Algae is good.
Yes, it is. It is good. And I mean, and you's here. All right. So let's take all that out of there. What I'm going to do is I got enough pool filter sand to get it started. I need to go get a couple more bags of it.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to put at least a 50-pound bag in that tank. All by, for the whole thing.
Yep.
And I'm going to take all of the albino grow out corridoras upstairs. All of them. There's probably 50 or more in there. They're small. And I'm going to put them in that 75. And then I plan on doing, moving one of the pairs of the golden eye cichlids, the Nanicara anomalous in there, and something else. I mean, there's a lot I can do with it. I might want to get some tetras in there that
you could shift some of your albino cories in your upcoming auction.
Oh yeah, I'm going to have some on there. I got like I say, I got lots. I will have them on the auction for sure. I'll be offering like a group of 6 or 8, whatever, on there, and they're nice. They're really healthy, and they're going to be.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you very much, Keith. Thank you, Wolf of Wallstad. Towards the sand. Well, thank you. That very much helps a lot. Honestly, it does. That's very nice. Hey, Elaine's here. So all that pool filter sand, and then I want to get a few various Apisto huts in there for the the cichlids, of course, and I want to have plants in there. I want to make that tank, that 75. I want to make that my main display tank. In other words, most of my tanks, I just call them working tanks because they're not pretty. They're just breeding tanks. I love them, but they're just breeding tanks that I, water change on, feed them, breed them.
What are you gonna use for the huts? Are you gonna use like coconut shells or flower pots, or are you gonna have Rack make something for you? Or
Rex making something, and also Keith from Fish Nerds making me some.
oh right,
He does a terracotta pots, and he has a hole saw that he drills.
Yeah.
And they make really great cichlid huts. Yeah. And I got more of those coming. And then I might get a couple of the little, the regular little ceramic huts for pistos and whatnot. They like them too. But lots of plants. What I want to do in my plan in there is pretty much, I'm not so much on stem plants in there, but I want to do a lot of Anubias on stuff. I want to have a lot of nice hardscape and Anubias attached. Because I really like that. I mean, not that, won't be that, I'll make it look as nice as I can, but I'm not a good aquascaper, I don't think. Hi, Cinnamon. Welcome in. So yeah, it's going to be a lot. It's going to be a lot.
I've got no aquascaping skills whatsoever. I mean, I've got some Anubias that was given to me, and I've just chucked it in this tank about a year ago, and it's getting quite big. I just shove stem plants in the substrate and let them get on with it. The fish don't care really what plants you've got in the tank.
As long as you don't dig in the substrate.
They're not going to judge you on how clever you are at scaping things and stuff like that. No. You keep live plants because they're beneficial for the water and the fish and stuff like that. Then it makes the tank an awful lot more interesting to look at than plastic plants or nothing at all.
Absolutely.
Now, I've got a question for you, Jeff. You talk about using pool filter sand in your tanks. I've never used pool filter sand.
Oh.
I've never had a sand tank. My flatmate had a sand bed in his tank about a year and a half ago, and he had a horrendous problem with diatomaceous algae. Now we've got quite high nitrate in our tap water. Our tap water is about 37.4 parts per million on average, according to last year's report, which is quite high. Do you experience diatomaceous algae in your tanks when you use pool filter sand because of the silicates?
Only if I start it from scratch.
Right.
If I put it in with brand new filters and just let it do the long cycle, I haven't done that in so many years though. But if I let it do the long cycle, it's going to take, in like ghost feeding, or if I want to do a fish in cycle, I'd use just a few fish, not many. And at 75, maybe 4 or 5 little fish just to get it going. And then, but I don't like to do it from scratch anymore because it goes through a lot of processes. Starts out, the ammonia will build up with the fish because there's no bacteria yet.
Yeah.
And then when that happens, what it goes through those processes, that diatom algae is what comes out, that brown algae all over the place. I haven't had diatom algae now in probably 20 years.
Wow. Okay.
Because I always take when I set that tank up, I'll take like some of the dirtiest sponge filters from around the fish room, and I will squeeze all of them out right down in the floor of the tank.
Yeah.
Cover it with sand, and it will build up from there. Or I maybe do it on top of the sand. The sand is basically a filter in itself. All that stuff will disappear within a few weeks.
Yeah.
Breaks down, and I really like using pool filter sand. It's clean. You don't have to rinse it.
Yeah.
And it's where I get it at is a really good price. I get it for like $9 for a 50-pound bag at Menards here in Lansing, Michigan. So it's like $8.89 or something like that. Really good deal. I mean, you go to look at any kind of sand online or at a pet store, you're probably talking $30 for and this is a 50-pound bag. It's not a 25-pound bag. 25-pound bags you'll find for like $30. 50-pound bag, you're talking a lot of money.
Well, I tend to use what would you call it over there? Like just natural crushed brown gravel, lime free. Over here, it's sold in the garden centers as agricultural grit. So it's probably, I mean, it's light medium brown. There's no dye in it or anything like that, and it's just crushed. Probably what, under a quarter of an inch would be the size of the stones. And I've never had a problem with it. It doesn't affect the pH or anything like that. It's completely inert. But that all goes, and I've told you this story before. It goes back to the first hourly job that I had when I was in high school in the States in Ohio. And I was the freshwater fish guy at a petland. And the tanks had all been set up when I got the job. It was a new shop, and the tanks had all been set up, and lots of tanks had dyed gravel, and the zebra tank had marbles and things you'd expect like that. And out of the 70 freshwater tanks we had in the store, there were probably about 15 or 18 that were just natural crushed gravel and nothing else. And in the 2.5, 3 years that I worked there, without fail, the tanks with the natural crushed gravel with no dyes or paints or anything like that were always the healthiest tanks that we had. Had the fewest problems with fish health and stuff like that. And I've been sold on just natural gravel ever since. And I don't know if it's because the natural crushed gravel is more porous, or whether there's mineral availability into the water column, or what it is. I'm no scientist. I can't do a study on it. But I've seen it with my own eyes.
And Elaine's got right here. This is exactly what I'm doing, Elaine. I'm leaving just all this, only the front. The rest is going to be for the cories to graze on and plecco, but bristlenose in there. Now, you said diet. Now, with the gravel, I like gravel. I mean, the reason why I'm doing sand is because all those cories, there's going to be a lot of them. It's really soft, and I don't want it to damage their barbels or anything like that.
Yeah.
They like to root around in it. So it's I'm doing basically that whole tank for them is the main thing. But then there's going to be a lot of cool fish in there too. I'm looking forward to it, really.
I've always liked cories because if you keep enough of them in a tank, they're just really entertaining. They're always active and always up to something. You can't keep 1 or 2 cories in a tank. You got to have at least 6 or 8, and then they group around.
There's going to be a swarm in there. When you look at that tank, you're going to see this huge migration back and forth of these cories. There's a lot of them.
Yeah.
Rock wood and plant placement helps fish behavior. Yes, it does. Creating line sites.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I haven't used any wood in a long time but I think I probably will start because I was basically in the harder water fish, the Malawis and then I have Lake Tanganyika, which is the same or even more hardness in the water, this high pH. But for this tank, it's absolutely right. It's going to be like a first in this fish room since I've been here. I'll get a nice piece of driftwood. And I got to get more hardscape. I don't want to put too much hardscape in there. I want to have like big open areas for those cories to just rummage around. I'm going to have some like I want to do like little islands, like an island over here of stuff, rocks and plants. Yeah. And then, of course, the driftwood will probably encompass from one corner to the other.
Yeah.
Something
I mean, once I get my tank set up, and there will be live plants, and it's going to be this agricultural grit. I'm going to go back to the garden center, and I'm going to buy a big bag of Scottish cobbles, which are basically washed pebbles, but they've been like in the sea or something like that, or in a river or whatever. They're all smoothed over. So they're flat, sort of disc-shaped, about yay big around and about that thick. Just nice, smooth. Not shiny, but smooth.
And Keith is here. Hi, Keith. Welcome in.
Place those around and maybe glue some Anubias to them and something like that.
Yeah, the Anubias. That's what I want to do is Anubias. Also, the plants that really grow good for me right now are my Java ferns. They are doing really well.
My
I got
job
'em-
at Ferns, my job at Ferns did really well when I first set up this 29 gallon about a year and a half ago, and I struggled to keep them now. But I think it's because the fish numbers are coming down, and I get the feeling that the Java Ferns benefit from a bit of ammonia in the water, and I don't have that many fish in the tank right now. I'm letting the current numbers dwindle when I'm getting ready to pick up the gonads. So,
depends on
and
the.
I can't keep Java moss either. It just doesn't like my water.
Oh, Java moss. Wow,
Yeah,
I got.
can't keep it.
Well, it's doing good for me. I got quite a bit in my 29 gallon upstairs.
Yeah.
It's depends on the gravel. I was using crushed granite from
Yeah.
Landscape Supply. Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Yes.
Fishner. That's what the Scottish cobbles are. It's basically water-worn uh, granite pebbles, very big ones. So they're completely inert.
Oh, here he goes. What Don is. Yeah, sand is best for quarries. That's what Ed says. And what Don is talking about links wall stand, redox gradient in the substrate. Ah, yeah, I need to get. I have that cholla wood, which is, I mean, something. It's better than nothing, but I got to get some actual like manzanita or maybe a nice piece of oak or something, oak branch or something. Get that in there. But I don't know. I was thinking about going
River
out.
rocks, yeah,
River rocks, yes.
yeah.
Nice
The
smooth
granite,
river rocks.
granite, river wash, so they're smoothed over.
I don't want to take it for granted, though. I'm sorry. But
But
I have ridiculously hard water. I use wood in all my tanks. I just use cured oak branches for my own property. Yeah, that's what I was thinking about. We have some oak trees around here, not in my yard. I only have I have 3 trees in my yard. I have a Japanese maple, one of those miniature ones. Well, it's about 12 feet tall now, but it's nice. And then I have 2 skyrocket junipers over on the side of the house. That's the only trees I got.
well, you could plant some azaleas and some rhododendron and let those grow for a few years, and then dig them up and use the roots.
We got a lot of
Because
hostas.
That's what spiderwood is azalea and rhododendron root.
Oh, okay. Java fern is an odd plant. It grows beautifully when then turns black and back to green. Oh yeah, it does do that.
Yep.
Right back there, you can see it right there.
Yeah.
That is all Java fern in that 10 gallon. It takes up almost the whole tank.
Right.
And I've taken a baby out and I put it in the tank next to it. See where that pot is right there, but it's floating. And it's actually made its way down into the substrate.
Hmm.
It gets down and then the roots will take a hold in there and I just leave it. Wherever it lands at. Yes, in Fishner, granite is a form of quartz. Yes. I'm in the same boat as Don. Java moss won't live in my tanks. Wow.
There you go.
You want to know what's really funny? Now we have Keith here because he was on here once before. You remember my hornwort, Keith? It grew like, I mean, for years and years and years, it grew like gangbusters. And now I can barely keep it alive. It's not for lack of nutrients, I can tell you that. I just don't know what's going on with it. It's not the heat. I don't know if there's something in our municipal water that changed over the last few years, but I mean, I can barely keep it alive. Let's put it that way.
What about the bioload in the tank, Jeff? Have you got the same number of fish as when the hormone was doing well?
Oh yeah, if not maybe even a little bit more. And usually it really does. I mean, it used to do great for me. I put a piece in a tank, and within a week or two, it probably put on like 3 inches.
You got scuds?
That might be a lot of it. I had, and I think they're almost gone. I'll probably never have them gone.
They'll do hormone for sure.
Yeah, they will chow it down.
Little
And that's another
bastards.
thing. I know it. I hate them. Those scuds are a scourge. People. I know that we have people that want them. Johnny Best, a friend on here, he
Yeah.
wants scuds. And I told him, I said, I don't have very many. I have a few in that fry tray that I'm trying to save to send to him when I send him the fish or whatever. But he wants to put them in with his killifish, which is good. They'll eat them.
Yeah. Yeah. Food.
But if he wants to get an actual culture of them, which I highly advise against, you can do that. But if you ever want to have a planted tank, that's like feeding Dracula garlic. You just don't like it. It won't be good. But yeah, those scuds are terrible. They'll destroy everything. They'll even attack fish once all the other matter's gone. Once all the other biological matter's gone, they will start going after you fish. And I know people are like, "Oh no, they don't do that." But well, I seen it. I had a alien green betta female. You remember her? I had her in this tank over here.
Yeah. Yeah.
I came down here and they were swarming her, and they were like zombies. They were on her. Just her fins were getting frayed from them. Terrible. But
I've never suffered scuds myself.
you are lucky.
The worst I've ever had is detritus worms and seed shrimp, and I don't mind those at all.
I don't mind those. That's free food. Hi, Barbara.
They've got their job to do, and they do it quite well.
Oh yeah, I like the seed shrimp and the. I had some I wasn't even sure what they were because I thought detritus worms were more of a white color, but apparently they're a little brown or black.
Yeah, yeah.
But what was so interesting is that when I did a water change on my dirted tank, as the water was going in, they were popping. It was so interesting. They were popping up as little teeny like eggs, and as they're going up in the water column, they would hatch, and the little worm would start wiggling around. It was like I set something off, and the fish were just going crazy for them.
Oh.
It was really fun to watch.
Yeah, they're both a good sign that you're overfeeding. So if you see a boom in your seed shrimp population, cut back.
I haven't seen any seed shrimp. I don't know probably the scuds kill and eat the seed shrimp. That's probably why I don't see any of them.
Yeah, could be.
Add some micronutrients in the tank, which plants you can grow anything. Oh, okay. So for the hornwort, George, that'll work. Micronutrients.
Liquid fertilizer, basically.
Oh yeah, liquid fertilizer. And I think I need to get something with a little higher iron content, I believe, because one time I had it was fluorite. I think not fluorite.
Whip. Whip.
Hey, Whip.
On a 2-hour ride home.
But yeah, it was. I used that and it did all right, but I noticed that it had a little higher iron content and the plants did better. And then it was pretty. I mean, it's expensive, so I only used one bottle, and I went back and I tried API Leaf Zone, which that was all right, not as good, but I need to get more. Like George says, micronutrients. I guess I'm not really that good with plants, to be honest, guys. That's more your line, I think, Don. You and Keith.
Nah, I've only just started. I mean, it's three things. Full transparency, 3 things got me back into fish keeping. One was I found out that live plants were far more available now than they were many years ago when I quit. And the second was Neocaridina shrimp. And the third, and I hate to say it, but give him his due, was Father Fish. Right now, I started binge watching Father Fish videos because that's all I knew. But before I started watching those, I thought YouTube was just for playing music. I had no idea that people had channels and this and that and the other. But I got introduced and I started watching Father Fish, and then I thought, what this guy's saying doesn't make any sense. He's not saying check your water, and if you've got soft water and if you've got low TDS, you can just top up a tank safely and everything's going to be absolutely fine. If you've got high TDS and if you've got high nitrates, if you're just topping up your tank, you're putting all of your aquatic life at risk. and he's not educating anybody about that part of his, so-called wizard method. And I stopped watching him pretty soon after that. And I just thought, I'm going to watch people that talk about the whole picture and don't just have one agenda that they're trying to push.
Hi, Glenn.
You
Welcome
know, so the one of the reasons that I decided on keeping Goodeids is because I've had many, many years of happiness given to me by keeping tropical fish. I started keeping fish in, I think, 1969. So I'm quite an old geezer. And I've loved every minute of it. And I'm also the sort of guy that says I don't want to be a tropical fish, chemical treatment fanboy. I don't want to be talking about, this chemical company or that chemical company. And you buy all of this stuff for lots and lots of money. You dump it in your tank every week. And this is going to put everything
yeah, I don't do that.
I've got hard water, high nitrates. I keep plants. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
What fish would do best naturally without me messing around with all the water parameters and trying to chase this and that and the other? And what fish need help? And the answer is Goodeids.
Oh, yeah.
They may come from Central America, which is not many, not very close to where I am right now, but they're available over here. And I want to say thank you to Mother Earth, and thank you to the tropical fish, and start paying things back. I want to, pay back, pay forward, whatever.
Yeah.
And so that's why I've taken the approach that I'm taking: the path of least resistance, the path of least hassle. And while we're talking about this, I would encourage anybody and everybody, if you care about the welfare of endangered species of fish, go to a website called BritishLivebearerassociation.org, and you can buy an annual membership to this particular fish club, and they are all about preservation of endangered live-bearing species. And it's going to cost about $10 a year. And the money that they make goes towards conservation, education, local community support in places like Mexico, where Goodeids are threatened, and they're teaching the local community how to look after the fish instead of exploiting them, and how to protect them, and how to take advantage of ecotourism and things like that. And again, BritishLiveBearerassociation.org. Money very, very well spent. $10 a year, not going to kill anybody.
Now,
So
do they do
if you're able to go and have a look and think about doing an annual subscription,
do they do any? I was going to say, do they repopulate those areas? I mean,
They do.
okay. I was wondering.
They build roads. They teach people how to look after the fish and how to protect them. They do lots and lots of very good work.
Okay. Have you ever had ostracods? I see that Keith says I had an outbreak of ostracods once, and they were terrible. Not good. I've never had those. Have you?
Unless seed shrimp or ostracods, and I don't think they are, but I don't know.
If anybody knows what ostracods, I'm sure Keith knows what ostracods are. He's had them. What do they do? What do they do, Keith? Are they like scuds? Do they eat your plants, or? Rich, look at there, Melvin. Welcome in. Plants do great in my aquariums. My water is a little on the soft side, and the pH is right at 6.8. Well, that's good water right there. You can do a lot.
Dee's Fuddy Farm raises a very good point. All the new scientific explanations of aquarium processes and live plants drew me back in. All the awesome YouTube fish nerd community. Absolutely, because when I was in junior high school, elementary school, and I was keeping fish, the only water parameters that I knew about that we were interested in was pH and temperature. That's it. We didn't know about ammonia, nitrate, any of that. Yeah, and the other beautiful thing, as Whip would say, is that every one of us here has got something in common. Is we're all fish nerds. And, Jeff, you might be a cichlid nerd, and I might be on David's side. I'll keep a crebensi, and I used to keep convict cichlids and stuff like that. but I've had my fill of cichlids. Time for me to move on.
You had a fill of some cichlids. There's so many different types out there, Don. There's something that will.
There's a 300-gallon tank right over here on the opposite corner of the room. It's full of cichlids. I can look at cichlids whenever I want to. It's not my tank.
Yeah,
It's
but
somebody else's.
that's one niche. Those are the African cichlids, right?
I'm afraid they're both.
Both? Okay, well that's all right. But if you get, I'm talking about the dwarf.
He's a heretic. He keeps both. He keeps South American and African.
I've done that.
Yeah,
I've done that, and I made it work a lot of times. But the little dwarfs I'm talking about. Have you ever had, besides Crebensis, have you ever had other types of dwarf cichlids like the little Ladicars?
There's nothing in my book that will ever top a Crebensi. The amount of color and the activity and just the fascination of something in such a little beautiful package, you never ever top it. Not even with the saltwater fish. I don't care what you're talking about.
I love them.
I'm a crib fanboy for sure.
Well, I love cribs too, but I also am in deep with the Apistos.
Melbourne.
Apistos. Yep, Melbourne's in the house.
Yeah.
Apistos. You never had Apistos?
No.
And if you were here, I could send you a pair. So that means you got to move back to America.
Yeah, I'd probably forward them on to David.
Oh, I got some going to him. He's actually requested a couple females.
He asked for some Apistos, really.
Yep, because he has just males. He's wondering why they weren't breeding, and I was like, well, they're both male. You know, if they're males, I mean, it ain't gonna happen.
Well, I've seen that problem before.
Yeah.
2 males, 2 females.
Oh, Perth, Australia. Yeah, 4:35 a.m. Well, you got welcome in here, you early birds. And Red's here.
Either that or go to bed.
Hi, Gord. He's in the car. You drive safe, Gord. Yeah, so for your water, I mean, like you said, the Gudeias, I mean, that's a very, with the Charis, a lot of altruism in that. You're doing really well. I mean, it's not like.
Well, I'm not trying to be altruistic at all. I mean, it's just, I'm just trying to say
but it is a good thing you're doing it. You know, it's a good thing that you're doing. I mean, you're enjoying the hobby. You're doing something for the environment.
Do something positive, yeah.
Yeah. I've seen that done before with the Chindango Solosi. They're little tiny mbunas from Lake Malawi, and they were almost non-existent. And apparently, the American Cichlid Association, they got a bunch of people that were breeding them, and they took probably a couple thousand of them and reintroduced them into the lake, and they've taken hold again, and they're doing great. Something that was almost dead or almost extinct in that lake. So, I mean, it is a good thing. I mean, just imagine if there were no fish, you know, at all. Things got so bad with the environment that, sorry, the only thing you got is in your aquariums, and you got to make it work. You keep breeding.
You know, there's not a whole lot of protection going on in Mexico, even these days.
Oh, they are seed shrimp. Thank you, Keith.
Oh, there you go.
Ostracods.
Seed shrimp or ostracods, yeah.
The ones that Goliad keeps are the scuds, and those are, not good. He sells them for big money too. I mean, I guess I can't say that if you know what they are, and you know you don't want a planted tank, and you got predators in the tank that will eat them. I guess that would be a great sustainable food. But if you have any other tanks that have plants, make sure you use a separate net for them, because they're so tiny, they'll hide in a crack of a net. You won't even see them. Yeah. They'll jump off in the tank. And
that's good practice anyhow. You want to use a separate net for different tanks because of cross-contamination of anything, whether it's a pest, a predator, disease, parasite, whatever.
With that being said, though, I haven't practiced that because I only got 3 nets. And I got 34. I'll have 38 tanks when I get everything all set up. Almost 40. I'm going to hit it 40. I'm just going to kind of keep it right there. I don't think I'm going to get any more than that.
That's plenty of tanks.
Yeah, it's plenty of tanks.
Yeah, I mean, back in the day when I still lived in Ohio, I had 27 aquariums in my apartment. And I think that was pretty much my sweet spot. I'd spend an hour and 15 minutes every night when I got home from work doing maintenance on the tanks. And that was at 75 minutes a night, feeding, looking at the fish, doing, minimal water changes and stuff like that. Because I was doing a lot of breeding and rearing and selling off to pet shops and so forth. And any more than 27, 28 tanks would have been too much. But that was where I really, really, really enjoyed the hobby.
Yeah.
Stinking cichlids, exactly, Melvin.
Stinking cichlids. Melvin, that's your thing. You love cichlids. What are you doing? What are you doing, Melvin? Your fire mouths, those are cichlids, right? That you're getting in convicts. When he's getting tanks set up. He's got fish coming from everybody, I think. He moved, and all of his tanks got left behind. I don't know why.
That's sort of what happened to me. Is I found out I was coming to England, and I had 27 tanks I had to get rid of in the space of about 3 weeks. And thank God I had my local fish club to fall back on, because they helped me move every single one of them.
I got two pair of those, Berber.
Every single fish, every single tank, everything went to a good home, which really pleased me.
Same here, June. I love them. I love them. And Barbara, they're not too aggressive. I know the females will be when. That's one thing about that particular species is that when they breed, after the eggs are fertilized, take that male out immediately and put him someplace else, because she will kill him. There's not possible. She will kill him.
I got a question for you, Jeff.
Huh?
I got a question for you.
Okay.
Is there a fish that you can think of that lots of people rave about, talk about how beautiful they are, and they just leave you cold?
Yeah. And I don't want to offend anybody out there.
Oh, I will.
Oh, you can offend me if you want to. I don't. You're going to offend people. I love the look of them. I love the look of discus, but it's something I don't think I will ever keep. They're nice. Yeah. I know they're more hardy now than they were when they first started in the hobby and whatnot.
Yeah.
But I don't think. I think that's probably one that I wouldn't do. What about you?
Yeah. Well, I remember as a kid, back in the days when we only had the classified ads, we didn't have the World Wide Web, and you get the Sunday paper out and you'd read through pets and fish and stuff like that, and look for somebody in your town selling fish, and you call them up on the rotary dial telephone, and you make an appointment to go to their house. And went to this one guy's house, me and my dad. And the guy had a couple of, I think, 20-gallon high tanks or something like that. And they had discus that had just had a successful spawn. And you could see the fry swimming right up against mommy and daddy and eating the slime coat off of them. And that's what they feed on the first few days. And I was just amazed. I was absolutely intrigued that fish would behave this way, because I'd never seen a discus, in real life, and certainly never seen that sort of feeding activity before. I wouldn't mind a discus. I don't think I'd ever be tempted to keep one. I mean, Jose's got some beautiful fish and stuff like that. And all power to him. But the fish that really leaves me cold, that lots of people go mad about, is the Turkana jewel cichlid.
Oh, I just got those. They're hot.
they just leave me cold.
Really?
I don't know why. I just think it's a badly designed fish.
Badly designed fish.
I'm not going to cite anybody that loves him or keeps him or anything like that. It's just they do nothing for me.
They don't do anything, huh? I want to
do anything for me.
I want to pull this up here, and I want to get everybody's opinion on these. As soon as I find the right pictures. Here we are, Turkana. What we got up here? Turkanas. I'm trying to find the right. Not for sale. Just Turkana jewels. Okay, let's get rid of that. And nope. Okay, let's see here if we get some decent pictures here. Oh, here we go. Okay, I'm going to share this now. And I want to get everybody's opinion. I know some people know what they look like. But these have only been in the hobby, what, about 6, 7 years, something like that? 8 years, 10 years? I don't know. But here we go, everybody. These are Turkana jewels. Is this something that would leave you cold? I want to find out.
Nothing.
If you like them, put a 1 in the chat. If you don't like them, put a 2 in the chat. 1 for yes, 2 for no. I want to see some numbers. It could be, 1 or 2. Here we go. There's more.
It's okay with me if they're all 1s. I don't mind.
I know, but look at how can. I don't know. I just can't perceive that.
Ed's on my side. Ed's on my side. They look to me like a trinket that was badly designed and sold in a tourist trap. The shop where you buy mementos and stuff like that. It's just.
Hi Shirley, welcome in. I got a 1. Oh, let's see here now. We got numbers coming in. 1 from Melvin, 1 from Shy, 2 from Ed's.
1 from Shirley.
That's understandable. He's a live bearer Goodyear guy. Yeah. 1 from Shirley. I knew that was coming. Yes, I got these. I got a group of 6 of them, June, and from Jose, he's got a bunch. I got 6 of them, and I'm growing them out. They're not that color yet. They're more this color right here. Let me see if that. But this isn't the. This is the bimaculatus here. You can see that, right? They're more of a pinky color right now, like this color right here in the stomach. But when they get bigger, I mean, they're only less than. I think the biggest one is maybe an inch. They're not real big. But let's see here now. We got more numbers. 6 to 7. Uh-oh.
Yeah, they can get 3-4 inches that I've seen.
Nasty. 2 nasty. 1 for interesting and 2 for nasty. Oh.
I'm not saying nasty. I'm just saying they don't melt my butter. They don't float my boat.
Oh, I know. But see what Glenn over in Australia says. 1 for interesting and then 2 for nasty.
Well, nasty's a bit harsh. I'm not calling it a nasty fish. I'm just saying I'm just not interested.
It's just not your cup of tea, right?
Exactly.
All right. And I think I'm going to share that one. So that's that one. To give you an idea, they're nice. Let's see here. We got some more numbers still coming in. Hey, Peter, welcome in. I didn't see you come in. If I missed anybody, you guys, forgive me. I always miss something when I'm doing that screen share. I don't see anything except on my phone here, and then it's kind of hard to run the mouse on that and then hold this, and then this too. I need an extra hand. Let's see here. Oh, you got one too. Nice.
The sea shrimp.
I think everybody should have those in their fish room. Right. I'm going to be doing merch, and I'm going to have these. I don't know if I can do the exact same type, but it's going to be part of the merch. We were talking about that the other night, and I'm going to have a merch line going by this fall.
Good on you.
It's not if.
It's when.
It is going to happen.
There you go.
I'm kind of curious about the holes in the checker barbs and maybe Ivanacura and Tapajos. Oh, those are all nice. I don't want really anything aggressive. Cichlids, you can get some very peaceful ones. But when they breed, any of them, they're really good parents and they will defend a territory. As long as they stay out of the territory, it's going to be peaceful. I said something that Cinnamon's laughing at. I'm not a fan of blowfish. Yeah, blowfish, that's another.
Blowfish,
I mean,
I don't. Yeah, I completely disagree.
But you know what?
With
if that gets young people into the hobby, and then they might morph into something else like Goodyears or other like wild type bettas. Those are a really good care species to keep. I got some of those.
Yeah.
Yes, hello there, Peter. Good, welcome in.
You're just a step too far, in my view. Step too far.
The really, cichlids are a step too far. Even like the pistos, even.
No. Glowfish.
Oh, the glowfish.
Glowfish are a step too far. Yeah, we're mucking about with things we shouldn't be mucking about because they're going to end up in the wild. We know they are.
Well, only if people are really stupid. I mean, they're expensive for one thing.
Well, explain the Procostomys in Florida to me, clogging up all the waterways. You know, it wasn't.
You know what
it wasn't
what
smart
happened?
people who did that. The world is full of stupid people.
It is. See, they bought that pretty little cute one at Petco or PetSmart, about 2.5 inches long, and they put it in their tank, and it did a great job. It looks cool. Some people now, Cecil's got a regular common pleco, and he's keeping it. It's a forever pet for him. But they get them, and they don't realize they get to 2 feet long. You know, they got a 20-gallon tank, and this thing is like almost end to end. It's like, what am I going to do here?
Yep.
You know, and down there, they're like, oh, let's take it out to the swamp and throw it in there and get rid of it. See, now that's wrong.
Come back and suck your leg off when you go swimming in the swamp.
I think that I mean, I don't like regulations so much, but for that, I think that they should be only bought by people who have a tank large enough, and you know, sell it to them. Don't sell it to just anybody. You don't want to, 15-year-old kid going in there. Oh, I'm going to get this Procostomys for my tank. And he takes it home.
If every wholesaler and breeder and retailer in the hobby had scruples, we wouldn't have this problem. But you know, a quick buck is a quick buck. And what are you going to do? Outlaw common plecos and only allow the shorter, fancy, bristlenose and stuff like that, green dragons or whatever, that don't grow to 2 feet long. You know, how do you regulate it?
What?
Plus, the horse is already bolted. The horse is already bolted. They're already in all the waterways, clogging everything up. Yep. And screwing up all the natural wildlife, the endemic stuff. So
I know there are active.
We should be ashamed. We should be ashamed.
Well, I'm not ashamed because I didn't do it. But what I'm saying is
we're part of something that did.
We're related to something that did. Yeah.
I said we are a part of something that did allow it to happen. So.
No, I'm not. I'm not, because I didn't tell the person to release them. I can only control myself. So I don't want to take responsibility for somebody else's mistake. I have enough of my own. So I kind of disagree on that point, and I do think that they can be regulated in a way that somebody has to have proof. They go into the pet stores like, well, you're going to get this common pleco. I need to see, what size tank you have. I know that'd be hard to do, though. I mean, I'm just basically a pipe dream. So.
They've got laws about drug use and firearms and stuff like that, and those get largely ignored. So what good is a law going to do?
Well, I guess what most of those do for some people, like in car insurance, it makes it easier to sleep at night sometimes, but I don't know. It's a lot of these rules they do get broke. Simple fact of the matter. But what we're trying to do, me and you and the people in here, I'm sure, trying to do the hobby right and not be the persons that, well, thanks to the aquarists as a broad stroke, we got all these fish in the waterways. No, that's not the case.
No, I'm not saying broad stroke. I'm saying we're all part of something that a minor faction of is completely screwed up. And we can't just wash our hands of it. I think we need to take a little bit of responsibility ourselves and do what we can to educate, saying don't buy the common pleco because it's going to get ugly and it's going to get stupid. And you're going to end up doing something you wish you hadn't done. And I saw your message, Ed, and I think you're absolutely right. And you've got my email address, and you can ping me whenever you want to.
This is the fish you have. Yes, I got 6 of those, June. Yep. And I'm going to breed them, and apparently they are going to. I think you breed fairly easily. No opinion. Okay. Oh, he got. Oh, here we go. He changed his two, and now he's got 3 ones. No, but what I'm saying is the reason why I disagree with that. I try to. I'm try. What I do with myself, I try to keep myself in a particular need, in an area, and I try to encourage others to show a way of doing it. But I'm not saying this is the only way to do it. But I don't want, like I said though, I don't want to be part of that stigma that I've never once in my life ever set anything free in the wild, ever. And I don't want to be. I mean, that's like saying that lions and tigers. Lions and they live in different areas, and because they kill a lot of gazelle or whatever, blame it on the tigers. They don't have them there, I don't think. But you know what I'm saying? I'm just saying that I don't want to put myself in that position because somebody else did something stupid. I mean, really.
All I'm saying, Jeff, I'm not blaming you for the plecostomus and clogging the waterways in Florida. What I'm saying is we are all part of this hobby. Yeah, we all have this nerd thing that we've got going.
Yes, that's.
And
I agree with
most of us know better, and we could all try a little bit harder to encourage people to become more aware and to discourage people to do stupid things like flushing Plex down the toilet.
Yeah.
That's my point.
That's another thing too. No flushing down the toilet.
Yeah.
I know they've done that with like little alligators too. Like they have down in the sewers down in places they have alligators in New York. I've heard that anyway. You go down there and they have like little caimans in the sewers. Because somebody gets a caiman and it starts getting a little bit too big and they're like, oh, let's just throw it out, throw it down the manhole cover, take that off and toss it down or whatever.
Believe what you see with your own eyes.
Not all of them. Not all the. That's another broad stroke. Yeah. I mean, they do have fry, but some of them, like the Pistos, they don't have that many. I mean, there's a lot of types. I mean, you go in with like the big, like, Oscars have a lot. Red Devils have several hundred. Jack Dempsey's, same thing. Fire Mouse and Convicts, they usually have about 150 to 200. They're hard to get rid of. You're right. But Pistos and really like the checkerboard cichlids, I don't think their spawns are quite that big. And they are very popular. So I'm not just a fanboy for cichlids. I love all fish, but cichlids are my main thing. But the new type I'm keeping, not the old ones. I used to keep, and there's nothing wrong with those big fish, but I just don't keep them anymore. For a few reasons. Number one, they need bigger tanks than what I have at this point. I don't have the tanks that I used to have. And also, with the price of food, fish food as well, one of those fish probably eat as much as this entire fish room does in a day.
That's a question I like to ask people, Jeff. If you had a 500-gallon aquarium, right? You come up with your own dimensions, 8 feet long, 10 feet long, whatever it's going to be. And money wasn't an issue. Would you get a couple of Oscars or a couple of, tinfoil barbs, a couple of Bichers or something like that? Or would you fill it with 1,000 nanofish?
A big tank like that, I probably would.
Big tank like that. Would you go with big fish? Would you go with a few big fish or lots of tiny fish?
500-gallon big fish.
Yeah, I'd go the other way. I'd fill it up with small fish and just it'd be like a murmuration of one of those starlings all the time.
Well, like 125, I'd do a lot of small fish.
It'd never be the same picture twice. It would always be changing. We get a couple of big lump fish in a tank. What are they going to do? Well, this one's going to sit at this end, and this one's going to sit at that end, and they might come to the middle to feed once a day, and whatever. Boring. I'd rather have the constant movement and lots of little cories and little tetras and rummy nose and
Little
From
pistos.
Rios and whatever you
Two
like.
little
Yeah,
pistos down there at the bottom. Yeah, they go good too. You know, they fit in.
a couple of pistos picking off the baby tetras. Yeah, sure. Why not?
I got them in with Endlers, and their population keeps growing and growing. I don't think they really. Some of them aren't very fast, really, but the only Angel. What about the pistols, Cecil? I'm gonna get you. Beautiful nature, naturally. Don't need Frankenfish. Yeah, I don't like hybrids either. Really, I don't like. I'm not in for the hybrids myself. Now, it's not wrong. Like flower horns and whatnot, people love them. They sell for big money, but it's a niche, very tight niche.
Yeah, Frankenfish indeed. There's no. I mean, yes, they can happen. You know, they can occur in the wild, crossbreeding and stuff like that. I just
What were the Bolivian rams? That's another species I would
it's
like to bring in.
just not for me. Not for me.
The Bolivian rams? What about the German blue rams and those?
Attractive fish, the German blues. Yeah, attractive fish.
I like the gold ones too because they have blue spots on the side. If they keep it up, I'm going to. They're jousting at each other. Must be getting ready to breed or something, huh?
There you go, red laser with you down at Tetra Paradise, and why not? Why not?
That's probably the least kept fish out of anything. I only had Serpae tetras in my whole since 1974 till now. I've only had Serpae tetras.
My first fish, because it's a long time ago. I got 2 bleeding heart tetras, and back in the day we called them black tetras, not black skirt tetras, and a single Cory Aeneas in a 10-gallon tank, and that's what was recommended to me by the pet shop. That's back before you could get anything besides any Cory besides the common the Aeneas. And the tetras were recommended. I paid 25 cents a piece for them at the pet shop. They were recommended because they were hardy fish and it was a new tank. And soon got into guppies and mollies and multiple tanks and swordtails and this and that and the other. Loved them all. Loved them all.
And right now, I have 3 types of live bears right now. I'm always going to have my black mollies. They're my favorite live bear. They always have been, and they always will be.
Yeah.
And then the Blue Star Endlers, there's something that I'm going to be probably moving on. I might even put those on the auction. I'm not sure if anybody would like those or not.
If you got some good stock, I think you should. I mean, you know, my first memory of the fish tank goes back to the I've told you this as well before, Jeff. The tank that my great granddad built, and it was full of what he called common guppies back then, which look an awful lot like what people call endlers these days. But I'm going back to the mid '60s now. And I was just fascinated by the tank, and I don't know if that's where I got my fish geek or not. But it was always looked forward to a trip to my great granddad's house because he had this big aquarium full of live plants and little common guppies, comets and stuff like that. I'd always beg him, "Can I feed the fish? Can I feed the fish?"
They got you started.
Of course you can, Donnie. He said with his English accent because he emigrated from the UK, from up north to the States back in the late 1800s.
This right here is a very good point that June makes, and I do the same thing. Except the one time I didn't do the research was my killifish. And I was throwing hundreds and hundreds of eggs away every week because I thought they weren't going to hatch after 7 days.
Yeah.
And then found out that, it just made me sick to my stomach. I am so against banning any fish that I can't. When I see the line in the sand. Oh, yeah, well, I'm not really banning. I wouldn't ban anything. No, but I would advise. I mean, if I was working in a pet store, people wanted a common pleco. If I was an employee, I'd ask, "What size tank do you have?" And then they say, "Well, I got a 29 gallon or whatever." I'd say, "Well, this gets up to 2 feet long, and you got to figure out what you're going to do with it, and don't throw it in the river." But we have these other ones here that only get to this size. Point them in the right direction. But if you got a big tank and you want a common pleco, like Cecil does, it's a great fish. There's always a big influx of new fish keepers, and there's always people wanting to make a quick buck. Yeah. That's unfortunate, too, because, I mean, there's nothing wrong with making money, but do it right. Sell the beginner fish.
Yeah.
No, you can't. You cannot do that.
We should all have a conscience. We've all got a moral obligation to be what's the word I'm looking for? To lead by example.
Yeah.
And if you see somebody about to make a huge mistake, don't be a know-it-all. Just say, hey, you might want to reconsider that because.
Exactly. It's not what you say; it's how you say it.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to jump down somebody's. Oh, don't get that. You don't get that fish. You scare the hell out of them, and they're like, they don't want to be in the hobby after that.
Yeah.
And like I say, we were talking. We had a topic of constructive criticism in fish keeping and whatnot, and a lot of that constructive criticism. I mean, even though it's to help somebody, how it's presented can be a negative. Because if criticize, I would rather not name it constructive criticism. I'd call it helping a fellow fish keeper. That sounds a whole lot better to me. And you can do it without chastising a new person because they're new. That's like telling the sun, quit shining, it's too bright.
Yeah, but without being a know-it-all. And without being bossy about it, but just trying to be helpful and encouraging and educational and informative. Yeah.
What I really like is when new people ask, they ask questions to people, and sometimes depending on where they're at, some people just like to mess with them and throw them down the wrong track. Yeah, get some piranhas, get those or whatever. They don't take the time to really help somebody. I do. I like to do that. So if they went to you, Don, some young, let's say, I don't know, 18-year-old kid just getting into the hobby. And they said, okay, I want to start the aquarium hobby. Where should I start? What would you tell them?
I'd say test your tap water. Find out what your beginning building blocks are. I'd say, what's your budget? I'd take them down to a couple of pet shops. I'd bring them on to one of your live streams where you go fish shopping and say what tickles your fancy. And then try to help them find a fish that is comfortable in local tap water without too much chemistry getting involved, that fits their budget tank-wise and the cost of the fish.
Ron's here. Hi, Ron.
If the fish is going to be the right size for the tank and it's suited to the water parameters, you're not setting somebody up for guaranteed failure. You're giving them a head start.
Oh, I'm glad Ron's here. I'm sorry. I'm going to change the subject for a second. Ron, are we able to stream on your channel on Thursday? Because tomorrow I can't I'll do the nighttime one, but we have meetings we have to go to, me and Kathy. And so during that time of day, we're not going to be back here until after 6 probably. So we've been starting to stream again on Wednesdays and or Thursdays. So Thursday will work for me this week. How far behind am I in the chat here? I see a lot of things here that you've already talked about that I'm catching up. Oh, okay. Okay, let me just click through here pretty quick. Janice, I'm speaking strictly to myself, or for myself. Ron, so good to have you in here. I forgot my Pygmy Cory tank has fry. Ooh. Too small to see now for my old eyes. I've never had Pygmy Corys yet. There is no problem when the hobbyist understands what is needed with large fish if they can provide the space, but how inhumane is it to mistreat fish and not provide the proper? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you don't want to put an Oscar in a 20-gallon.
That's right.
Now, if you got a big tank, a great big huge tank, and you got a 20-gallon, they're both cycled, and you come home with some baby Oscars, I would advise put them in the 20-gallon tank until they get a little bigger. Because when they're so small like that, you put food in a big, huge tank, they might not get enough to eat that way. That's how I feel about it. With their babies, they should be in a smaller tank to make food availability easier. I mean, it only makes sense if you're in a confined area and the food's close by. It's easier to eat it, right? Right?
I think so.
Yeah. TK's here. Hi, TK. He's probably been here for half an hour. I'm probably that far behind.
You're almost caught up.
I'm catching up quickly. I know this makes David sick because I clicked through it too quick, but I got to catch up. Make sure I touch on all these. Hey, there's TK. He is the one. TK, you're the one that bred your fire red Agassiz. He had them in his tank for 2 weeks, and they spawned, and he's got fry. Really, really nice. Oh yeah, I was gonna say he's having trouble with his day streams or his live streams. He can't get his chat to work, or get his camera to work. Right. There is a moral obligation owning animals and managing their husbandry. Fish keeping is no different. That's right.
Absolutely right.
And actually, even more so, I think. Well, not more so, but it's a strong case because they're in an enclosed system that you're responsible for their air, you're responsible for their food, you're responsible for their temperature, their living quarters with each other. You got to make sure you have the right fish together. Because there's nothing worse than having a beautiful school of fish, then you get that one fish in there that's like, okay. Next day you come down and there are like 6 or 7 of them that are tore apart, dead. They might not even eat them. Yes, we can. Oh, great, Ron. That sounds fantastic. Ed, have a great evening. Thank you. I think I'm getting caught up here. Good night. Good night. But we are having our Wednesday night one too, Ron, if you want to, for like we did last week. Hey, there is Gil. Hi, Gil. Welcome in, mate.
G'day, Blue.
What's that?
I said, "G'day, Blue." Hello, Gil.
But I Gilwas, and welcome back to the channel. My name is Gil. I love that accent. Yeah, everybody's saying hi. I'm catching up. Look at this. Whoa. Very quickly here. I thought I wasn't. There we are. There. All caught up. I broke a sweat.
I've been thinking.
Oh, okay. So I'm just going to let the chat go there. We'll just that way I won't fall behind again.
So, give us an update on the Ivanicaras, Jeff.
Yeah, what I did, I had them separated, a trio in each tank, and they didn't really like it. They did lay eggs like once, I think, when I did that. But now I got 2 males and 4 females in one tank, and they're doing so much better. The reason being, I can say this, I've mentioned this before. I'm not a know-it-all, but I know how fish act, and I know what their attitudes are, and what, even as people, the same thing happens with people. You got 2 males in there and 3 females. If there was 1 male and those females in there, he knows he has pick of anyone he wants, he might be like, yeah, I have time to do that later or whatever. You put another male in there, and that ups the competition. Oh, I better go after her right now. If I don't, he will.
Yeah.
So it really does encourage the fish to, and it strengthens the pair bond. I live by that. I know that that's what happens. I've seen it. Um, but the Ivanicaras, like you said, they're doing good. I still haven't been able to get fry or wigglers yet, but I think that has to do with the TDS.
Okay.
So I was talking with Elaine. I'm thinking about doing a rain catchment system possibly, or the RODI filter. I really thank you, Red, for that. Thank Gord. I don't know about that. I mean, the RODI. I was also looking at a channel that they use food grade phosphoric acid, and they had a capful to about 50 gallons of water. Yeah, you stir it up and leave it for 3 days. And apparently, from what that person said, is that it doesn't take it reduces the size of the TDS, or it takes them down some because the acid will burn through the calcium or something. I forget how it goes. I should put that link up for that.
But wouldn't that make your water more likely to more liable to crash pH wise?
No, well, this is my intention. Using it for water changes, 20% at a time. Gradually, that pH is going to go down gradually, and
the lower it becomes, the less stable it is. I mean, that's sort
well,
of pH.
but when you're dealing with certain fish that come from, they need soft water. You have, if you want to get them to, even though they live perfectly well in hard water, my goal right now is to get some fry from them. I want to get them to breed. I want to get some viable fry, and and then after that, it can gradually go back up to normal. It's like it's not a fast process, because at that point, when I'm ready to start doing it again, I'll do the small water changes with just the tap water that's been dechlorinated, and gradually that pH will just kind of ease back up slowly. It'd take weeks to get it, up and down where I need it to go.
You have to keep a close eye on the pH, though, because you're dabbling now or that would be dabbling in uncharted territory for you. You got to keep a very close eye on the pH. Would be my advice.
I have had low pH tanks back when I lived at home when I was young. Yeah, it was very, very low pH. And you think of it as after the pH gets down to a certain level low, I think they said ammonia no longer it doesn't have any effect on the fish. When it gets down, I'm not sure if it gets down to a certain low enough that I heard this from Alex on Fishery, that once it gets down to a certain level, that the ammonia is not toxic to the fish anymore.
Right.
It does something to it chemically. I don't know, but I heard him talk about that. So
does it convert to ammonium faster or something?
I don't know.
I don't know. I'm not a chemist. I'm not a chemist.
But like I said, though, uncharted territory, yes. For right now, what I'm doing.
Yep.
But the thing of it is, they have spawned about 8 to 10 times. And the way I look at it is, I got a lot of people that would like some of them.
Yeah.
And I'd love to see them have their fry. Oh yeah, low pH ammonia converts to ammonia. That's what Keith says. And he's actually, I think he's a professor. He was talking chemistry-wise. He's got a degree in that, I believe. If my memory serves me right. Yeah. Thank you very much. So yeah, I want to bring it down slowly, and to a point where that if they lay the eggs, and then after 3 or 4 days or 5 days, I think it's a maximum. It's like 5 days. I want to see some wigglers at least, and then get some fry. And, and from that point on, it's like once they are free swimming and whatnot, slowly, very slowly, instead of using the other water,
Yeah.
just do the smaller water changes with the regular tap water, and it will bring it up tiny increments over a couple of months. The fish won't even notice it. That's my
That's
that's my theory. I'm sticking to it.
that's the plan. That's the plan. But
Yeah.
as soon as you reintroduce the TDS and the carbonates and stuff like that, the bicarbonates, you probably see the pH jump up rather quickly. The
Well,
buffering.
no, it'll come up slowly because, like I said, I'm not doing 100% water change.
No, I understand that.
But bit by bit, it'll come up incrementally. It won't. I mean, if I do a 20% water change with tap water, it's not going to bring the pH up a full point.
Keep an eye on your pH. That's all I'm saying.
Oh.
Keep a close eye.
Oh, yeah. But I do know that if you have soft, like with my water, for instance, it has very low KH, but the pH stays up high enough and the TDS is high enough that that's what's stopping me. The pH not so much, but it's the TDS that I need to get under control. It could be. I've heard that people have bred those Ivana bimaculatas in 8.2 pH, big groups of fry. So, but what I'm thinking is they probably have low TDS in their water, so the eggs don't calcify, and they can hatch.
Is the calcium level in the eggs? Is that
It's in the
basically
water. It's the
it-
carbonate hardness.
yeah, I understand, but is that set when the eggs are developed within the mother before they're even laid?
That I
As
don't know.
part of the
I think while they're inside the mother, they're probably perfectly viable. It's after she lays them in that harder water and they're subjected to the water that as they start to develop, and also at that same time, the egg casing probably it gets thicker and harder, so they can't break out of it, and they end up either dying or getting eaten by the parents after a certain amount of time. Is what I've been noticing.
Wish you luck with it.
Appreciate it. Yeah, I'm really looking forward. I think it's going to work. I've done other things. I went with the botanical direction, and yeah, it did put tannins in the water, and it brought the pH down. It didn't do anything for the TDS though. And same thing, they wouldn't hatch. Under 7 pH, 1 part per million ammonia is no problem. At 8 pH, everything's dead at 0.5. Yes. And that's why having a good biological, base. You got sponge filters chucked full of this stuff. It all helps to keep the the ammonia down. Plants do a great job at that too. The problem with ammonia usually happens at water change. If a person didn't notice, they have ammonia before the pH rises. Yep. Well, and I don't, like I say, I don't test my water very much, but I do use products that will dechlorinate, and they will actually, you can use more of it in your tank if you have a problem with ammonia. If you have any kind of rating, you can put more of it in there, and that will neutralize it long enough to give the biological bacteria a chance to take hold. And at that point, you should be good. I mean, that's what's been working for me. Jeff, not necessarily. It could be the food as well. Oh, the food. Oh, yes. Oh, look here. Magnus, welcome in, mate. The food. Now, the food, I mean, if you feed too much, well, what I've noticed, I don't overfeed. I probably do, but not a lot. I notice the fish, when I put the food in there, I mean, almost everything is snatched up and very little makes it down. I actually put extra so it will get down to the bottom dwellers, because if I don't, they're going to starve. I think everything gets eaten up before the lights go out. And if they don't, the quarries will take care of it. How's Magnus doing? It's been a while, my friend. How's your koi doing? Uncle Smiley's. Hi there. So what would you, I mean, so you wouldn't, if you were trying to do that, and say that you got a pair of the Ivanacura, and let's say you were into cichlids, and just a, a what if, and you wanted to breed them, what would you do?
I do the same thing that I did with the convicts and the crebenses, which is the only cichlids I've ever bred, which is take the temperature down to sort of mid 70s, 76, something like that they're comfortable with. Do a couple of water changes, give them a rest period, and then start loading up on the protein in their diet as I gradually raise the temperature up to 80, 82 over the course of about a week, and let them get on with it. When they start to color up, they're ready to go. They'll dig a cave under a rock, because I never provided a cave or anything like that. They'd always dig the fine gravel out from underneath the big rock and do it that way. That would be my inclination, without doing any reading up on particular breeding characteristics or what the shows are or anything like that. But that's what I would be inclined to try.
Okay. Now, let's say that you have a high TDS. How would you go about bringing it down?
Well, I've tried cutting RO into my tap water, but my TDS is high enough that it just sort of laughs off the RO water, and the TDS doesn't seem to change much, and the pH never flinches.
With RO?
Because I buy my RO water, and I've got to put 20-gallon or 10-gallon jugs into my car and go down and fill them up, drag them back here. I don't use a whole hell of a lot of RO water, and I live in an apartment. I'm not going to pay to have reverse osmosis tapped into the plumbing here. So basically, I give up on tetras and go back to something that doesn't mind the TDS and the pH, and something like Goodeids. And here we are again.
I agree with it. I agree with that. But like I said, you would do something. If you wanted to get fry, you would change the chemistry of the water to accomplish that.
I would try lots of things. My last attempt would be changing water chemistry. I would be more inclined to change temperature and diet and other conditions. The last thing I want to change is the water chemistry, because you're just flushing money down the drain. You're just chasing something that is a very dangerous thing to start messing around with, because of the volatility of the pH in the tank once you start lowering it, and what that can do to fish, and what that can do to the entire ecosystem, if you can call that an ecosystem.
So you don't think it's possible to gradually lower it down and gradually lower it and raise it back up?
It's probably entirely possible if you keep a very, very close eye on your pH, which is what I've been encouraging you to do this evening. I've never tried it as regards pH.
I know that it comes out of the tap. At least I knew it did. It came out about 8.0.
Yeah.
Now the KH is like 1 or maybe 2 at the most. So there's not a lot of buffer to hold that pH up. But just because it's a lower pH, after it's in the tank for a few days, it'll go down like on a 45-degree angle. It'll start going down over a week or two.
Yeah.
But that's not the problem. The problem is the TDS. And so with that, either rainwater has very low, I think it has 0 TDS. I'm not sure about that. But a rain catchment system or RO to bring that down, that might be the solution, rather than, like I say, if I did that with the phosphoric acid in the 50-gallon bucket with doing like a 10% water change every week.
That would be my last approach, is bringing phosphoric acid into it, even if it's dietary phosphoric acid. I'd be very wary of taking that route.
Oh wow, 7.2 to 7.5. That's nice. Mine, well, it was. I don't know what it is now. It might be 7.8. I don't have a test kit. I haven't tested my water in a long, long time. And I haven't had any problems with the fish except the ones that need a lower TDS. And I was talking with Gil. He says that there's another way to do it, and that is they have a resin you can get like at a water treatment store, and that will filter out the TDS. He says you can do it with
carbon block.
A carbon will help do it too. But now that you really got to watch that. You got to make sure that you change that out by the directions on the package, because I was talking to Gil. He says after it gets to a certain point, after it absorbs everything it can, then it will expel it all.
Yeah.
Back into the tank.
Yeah.
But I have carbon. I can try it that way. I mean, there's a lot of ways to go about it. I just need to work something, and it has to be incremental, like I mentioned. I don't want to do a big, huge, pH swing, whatever.
Of course not. Yes.
But
Whatever you try, Jeff, I would encourage you to take notes and change one thing at a time. Don't change the diet and the pH.
Oh, right.
At the same time, and say, well, the combination of the two fixed the problem. Was probably just the one of them. And figure it out. You got time on your hands. Work it out. Change one thing at a time.
I've had them now for what, about? It hasn't been a year yet, I don't think. But I don't want to. I want to actively pursue it because I don't want them to age out on me and not get any fry.
Yeah.
So I'm like I said, like I did with the peat moss I had in the bags. Put that in there. They seemed to like it all right, and put tannins in the water, but they didn't. And they bred. I mean, they kept laying eggs like crazy. But they never hatched, and they were always eating them. They wouldn't hatch after about 4 days, and then the next thing you know, on the 5th day, they're gone.
Yeah, whip raises a good point. Wrong parameters, if they're stable, are better than parameters that swing back and forth. That's a very good point.
We're not talking swing. We're talking. This is a temporary thing too. It's not like I want to do this all the time. It's to get a spawn of a particular fish, gradually bring it down. I mean, real gradual, to the point where those eggs can actually hatch. The parents they're great parents. And then after I get that, the group of fry, I won't do it again unless I want to continue producing them that way. And that way I can hold it right there where it's at by doing what I'm doing. But yeah, it's not swinging. You don't want to swing the pH in any tank.
No.
Carbon works or not, depends on what ions or TDS comes from. Yeah, that's a good point. I wonder, is there a way to test that? To find out what the ions your TDS comes from. Does anybody know if there's a test that will test for that stuff? That's what I want to find out. I'm trying to get. I got so much patience you wouldn't believe it. Yep. Take your time. I have a lot more patience than most people probably will believe, but I have a lot of patience.
I'll be right back.
Oh, okay. And they are gone, huh? Reminds me. Reminds me. What's that? What did I miss here? Yeah, so the carbon might do it. That might be enough, but it might be that. And like I said, rainwater. I know Elaine that she did. That's what she does for her water for her tank. Is all rainwater, I believe. I don't know if you're still out there, Elaine, but is it lab test you need for that? It might be. an acid buffer to reduce the pH, but aged water to match the tank. It converts alkalinity to CO2. Ah, okay. But in the acid buffer, but it doesn't do anything for the TDS, right? Because I've been told by a lot of people that it's the TDS that's holding me back for my Ivanocaris. Oh, some movie quote. All right. Right. But, like I say, I agree with everything that Whip's saying and Don. Don't chase the pHs around like that. I don't chase them. All these other tanks are just, I water change them with my tap water that's been dechlorinated. And a small micron filter might help you lose some TDS without dropping the pH. It might. It'll definitely take some of the larger particles out. I know that the resin and the RO filter itself chamber is supposed to take like almost 100% of it out. But you might have like a low TDS of like 100 or less. I don't know. If I had that, I think it would be fine. Probably 100 or less. Nothing for TDS. RODI fixes that. Yeah. So I might need.
Sorry about that.
Oh, no problem at all. I might need to do that actually, just to get just to get a project done. And I guess, and also, my wild type bettas, they've been breeding a lot. I think it might be the TDS. He holds for about 3 or 4 days, and then he eats them or swallows them. And I'm wondering if that is the same problem with the TDS with them. Because they actively mate a lot. And he holds a lot of eggs. But he just doesn't hold them to the, to term. They got to hold them for like 15 days. And that's what the problem is. Proved with discus and raising them in hard water. Oh, it says, CO2 helps. The TDS holds you, but using RO, you can solve that. But CO2 can make a lot of swings in the pH. Yeah, I've never used CO2 yet. Yeah, I've never used that yet. I've never used RO either.
Which one's more expensive, CO2 or RO?
It's a good question. I'm sure
I'm kind of budget-minded myself.
Oh, I am. I am right, especially right now. Yeah, later on in the fall, I'll have a little more flexibility. I definitely work on a budget and pretty strict one at the moment, but it works. It works. So yeah, maybe an RO. I'd like to have that little RO buddy. I think that might even be enough. I don't want to use, like I say, I'm not going to use it on all my tanks. It's just the breeding tanks. That way.
It's like I say, Jeff. Just change one thing at a time. You know, and if they're breeding, if she's laying, and if he's fertilizing, and he's holding the eggs, it could be something sort of environmental that's not related to water chemistry. Maybe he needs, if you cover part of the tank or something like that, give them a little bit more privacy where he doesn't feel threatened.
Oh, the entire top is covered because they are jumpers.
Yeah, the top, but I mean part of the front of the tank as well. So give them a bit more seclusion so he feels more comfortable and not threatened by other things that he sees in the room you walking past and so forth and so on.
What I do is I just turn the light off in that tank while he's holding.
Yeah.
TDS might be the dumbest parameter people test until an affordable test kit that tells you your test for what's the point. Yeah, I don't know until there's you get a TDS pen. It's like, they're like $10. You just put it in the water and it'll give you the number of the TDS. Yep, I got one of them. What is your TDS like?
I haven't tested it for months. Let's find out. Let's see if the battery's dead. Yeah, battery's dead. That's how long it's been since I've used it.
Just make true for 99% of the time, but for low pH, you just can't make is under 6 with TDS on 450. Yeah, the 450 is too high. I mean, I want to get my TDS probably around 100 or less. Can't you buy RO or distilled? You can. I just don't. Well, I could do that. I guess I could buy. I would need to buy a lot of gallons, and that would be kind of expensive. I think. I mean, like you're doing a 20% water change on a 30-gallon tank. Then it's a few dollars a gallon or whatever. I'm not sure how much it is, but I don't know. I think I would like to have like some type of RO system that I can use when I need to use it and not have to, not use it all the time. There are solids. What is in there? You don't know. Yeah, we do know it's calcium. I mean, you can't see it, but there's calcium. There's heavy metals in the water you can't see. And other ones that, yeah. And that's what the RO filters all that stuff out, all the TDSs that are in the water. Heavy metals, take them out. It'll take the extra calcium out. Magnesium, potassium. Yeah. Yeah, well, we know what the TDS tells you. There's something in your water, but never what those solids are. I guess you'd have to have a very advanced, like a laboratory, take water to somebody and have it tested by a professional. I don't know. Positively charged ions, calcium, magnesium, sodium in RODI. Yep. Yeah. So, I don't, like I said, I don't want to chase the parameters. I just want to get these fish to breed, I know that might be.
Well, they're already breeding. You just need the eggs to hatch.
Exactly. That's what I need to do. I need to go to the next step. I need to reduce the TDS.
Yep.
And I think if I can do that, I think I'm going to have some success. And then, like I said, I could either leave it, do it, keep going the same way and keep breeding them. I can keep it right there without chasing any parameters because I've already got it accomplished over that long period of time, and it's there. I could continue doing that, or if I got tired of having to make RO water, I could just gradually cut down on the amount of RO for the water changes, and over time, and it will go back up, of course, but it's not going to be like zoom, it's going to be like over the course of time, it'll just start rising up, weeks, months. The fish won't notice it, I don't think. I never tested TDS. I'm sure it's high because I'm on a well, and the results wouldn't tell me much. What high in what? Oh, probably the TDS, I would imagine. There might be a lot of more minerals in that water. So good to see you, Uncle Smiley. Joel, good to see you. You've already... Oh, yeah, they are already laying eggs, Gord. And I tell you what, they really are active. From what I've been told, the people that are breeding them and getting success, they are producing a lot. They have a fairly good size spawn, too. And like I said, I would love to get them, and I also wouldn't mind getting one spawn out of the angelfish once I achieve a male for them. But I'm wondering also, if that is a male and female, I thought they were both laying eggs, but what if the TDS is too high in that tank and they won't hatch? that might be what they need too. Because you've seen them. I mean, you even spotted those eggs before I did.
Hmm.
Remember that?
Yeah, yeah.
Hi, Ken Jam. Welcome in. Welcome in. Cam Jam, thank you, ma'am. At 22.
I just wonder if there's other things that come into it. I mean, I've never kept Ivanacaras. Yeah. Could it be, if the holding parent says, well, there's no food source available for these fry, and it's better off that I consume these and prepare for the next round of young.
Yeah, if you're starving, that's
It could be,
possible.
yeah. So is there anything for the fry to feed on? Do you need to have a bit of green water in the tank, or I don't know how big are they when they hatch? Baby brine shrimp or artemia or something like that.
Yeah, I think when they hatch, I think they're ready to. I've read they're ready to take as soon as they're free swimming. They're ready to take baby brine shrimp, and I feed that every other day. I feed it all out every other day, and I start a new batch, and I just keep it rolling like that.
Okay.
Also, I have fry powder that the Epistos really liked, and it's a very fine powder. It's so fine that even the really tiny fry, like rainbows and stuff, I think they can eat it. Still going. We'll continue to listen on the drive home. All right. What time is it? I'm supposed to be done by 6. What time is it right now? Uh-oh.
It's about 13 to 6.
13 to 6. Okay, well, good timing. We'll run to 6. I told Kathy because I have to start cooking her dinner, and I have a live stream tonight with Christine at 8 o'clock.
It's like my daddy always said, Jeff, a promise made is a debt unpaid, and do not make a promise to the wife that you don't keep.
That's right. And I always pay my debts.
He also told me that marriage is a sure cure for happiness, and by God, he was right. I've been married. I learned the hard way.
I mean, what happiness I got, I can probably attribute to her. This when I don't have her is when things are going to go bad.
You're the lucky one. You're the lucky one, Jeff.
Well,
mine didn't work out so well.
It doesn't happen automatically. I mean, you got to work. It's a lot of work to.
It takes two to tango.
It takes two to tangle. That's right. And if you put all your effort into something like that, and the other person's not like it's not going to work. But you got two that are like, well, dinner is important. Yes, it is. And I'm making her a really nice dinner. I'm fixing her a nice planked salmon with mashed potatoes and broccoli and cauliflower.
Nice. I had chicken jalfrezi.
What is that? That sounds good. Interesting.
It's an Indian dish. So chicken in a tomato sauce with onion and garlic and chilies and green pepper.
And for those of you that don't know, I don't know if everybody knows that you are a pizza. You pretty much the manager of a pizza restaurant, and he makes some pizzas that look. It killed me.
Head chef, Jeff. Head chef.
Head chef. Okay.
So
you basically run the kitchen.
Run the kitchen, set the menu, all of that fun stuff. Fire people like last week.
Oh yeah. Oh, you
then
did fire
work every hour God sends when you do that. But hey, for my sins.
Well, the thing of it is that they're not doing the job, and you want to keep your reputation up at that restaurant. Sometimes you got to do that.
Yeah, it was a hard pill to swallow, but one of my other chefs, very good chefs that quit, came back because I fired the other one. So
mine are captive bred.
It's too hard to work with.
Mine are captive bred, so they're used to the hard water. But I'm not sure if. Well, let's put it this way. You know Chris Gordon from Sutton Road Aquatics. He is breeding German blue rams in his hard water. And he's in Vermont. He's got really hard water, but he's been working with them for like 3 years. And he's got them to the point where they are able to, he's getting fry. He gets a lot of fry from them. I hope if that's the case, maybe mine will do the same thing. I don't know. Yeah, firing people means extra work.
In the short term, it does. In the long term, not so much.
Whatever makes them happy. I miss what June said. What did she say here? Spam has been suggested for dinner. My family is sick.
Nothing wrong with pan-fried spam.
Mm-mm.
Nothing wrong at all.
They make it. You can do an egg with it. Have a nice egg sandwich with it. Oh, it's good.
And hot mustard.
Mm-hmm. Better than snails. Yep. So, right. Well, but when it comes to that 75 gallon over there, it's not going to be a hard water tank anymore. It's going to be an inert. Like I said, the substrate is going to be inert. It's going to be the pool filter sand. I might have a little bit of gravel in there just to make it look interesting. I don't know. But the pea gravel I have is smooth. There's no sharp edges on it, really. And I can
So
use
once your 75 reset going to be finished, Jeff?
when I start it, it will be the major work will be, empty the water down to the substrate. Then I got to sift through all of. And there's going to be a lot of chocolate milk at the bottom of that. I'll tell you. We call it filter gravy. There's going to be a lot down there in the substrate because you
Poop
can't.
soup.
Yeah. So get that all out. Then I gotta get like I said, a particular type of scoop that I can get all the larger stuff out and leave the sand. And then the second process will be using like a nice big dustpan deep that I can get all that out and put it in a bucket and save it for another time because I'm not going to throw it away. I mean, once you buy that stuff, you can use it over. You can use it in another tank if you want to do Lake Tanganyika, or if I ever wanted to get back to Malawi's, which I doubt that'll ever happen, I'll have it. But for that tank, I don't want to have it buffered. I want to be able to have my the Corys in there, have some dwarf cichlids in there, and yeah, and do it nice. I want to make it a show tank. That's what I want to do.
When are you going to give us the grand unveiling of the Reset 75?
As soon as I'm done.
Yeah, and I'm asking you for a target date, Jeff. When's that going to happen?
Target date. Depends on. See, I have to wait till after the auction this Saturday. Got an auction this Saturday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And after that, I ship on Monday to Jose and Mouse. They got fish coming. And I got stuff going to Tiffany. She's been very patient with me. It's like she sent this, but she wanted fish that I had to send her 2 boxes the first time, and the second time I have to do the same thing. But what I want to do for her is I'm giving her some a hang-on back filter also. And one I've been using, and they work great. I want to finish cleaning all the calcium deposit off, make it look nice. And I give that to her along with the fish that she wants.
Right.
And then after that, I could probably start on Tuesday or Wednesday of that week, next week, possibly. So if I start on that, I might have it ready to reveal by Sunday. If I start on Tuesday, although it won't be absolutely complete.
Right.
It'll be, it'll have fish in it. It'll have the sand in it. It won't have all the decor because I don't have it all yet. But I will have, as far as the tank goes itself, it'll be going. And so then on Sunday, I can show you what it looks like without, for one thing, it's got a lot of algae on the front glass, which I left. But I will clean that up, but I'm leaving all the other algae in the tank.
Good plan. Good plan.
And I got, like I said, I have lots of extra sponge filters in my tanks, right? So what I tend to do when I start, say if I'm going to reset that one, it's already got some really well-used ones in there. So I'll take them out, put them in a 5-gallon bucket of water while I'm doing the work. I'll have it stripped and refilled in one day. I mean, I'll get all that substrate out. I'll get the new substrate in there.
Yeah.
I'll fill the tank up, But for the fish, I'll get, I could put the sponge filters in there, and I might put a few fish in right away. Because the thing of it is you gotta, as long as you got that beneficial bacteria, the problem is not having the bacteria. The problem is feeding it. You got to feed it enough to keep it alive. That's what a lot of people are like. Oh, I got, I've had this well-seeded sponge filter in this tank for 2 weeks now.
Yeah.
And they go and buy some fish and take it home, and a month later they're kind of like not feeling so good, or maybe even sooner than that.
I've got up something you can stick in the tank to keep up the load.
What I'm doing with my 2 10-gallons upstairs, they have nothing in there except right now assassin snails in one, and the other one just has Malaysian trumpet snails, which I'm trying to get rid of all of them anyway. That's why I got so many assassins. And what I'm doing with those is I'll just take a little bit of fish food every day, a little sprinkle of flake, and that's it. Nobody's going to eat it except when it hits the ground, then maybe the snails will eat it up. But I think between them and the snails, they'll eat that food, and then they'll excrete the food for the bacteria. And like I say, if I do it fast enough, that bacteria on the glass might still be viable by the time I get the water back in.
Yeah, I don't see why not. I mean, if you got a bit of Biobacter or Bacter AE or whatever it's called.
Yeah, I got you.
Sprinkle some of that in. Yeah.
I use that for I like to use that when my cosmos are little teeny babies.
Because that's when my seed shrimp really explode, is when I put the Bacter powder.
Oh, really?
Biobacter. This is the stuff I bought from Glenn. May he rest in peace.
Oh,
poor
yes.
guy. Poor guy.
Yeah, I don't know. Glenn, GB shrimp.
Yeah.
I tell you, that hit me so hard. When Gordon came in and told us about it, I just talked to him about 7-8 days ago.
Yeah.
And he was only he was fairly young. He was only 55, 56, something like that. I'm not sure how old he was. In his 50s.
Late 50s, I think. He's a bit younger than me. Yeah.
I tell you one thing, I'm going to miss him. He was great. I started out when I started doing my auctions. I decided I said, wouldn't it be nice to have a collaboration with another country? So I did it with him, and we both do our lots, and people in the UK would bid on his stuff, and that was fun. I was thinking about trying to do the same thing with Australia, but I'm not sure.
That's a time challenge.
Well, me, sometimes me, I'm up all night anyway, so I could probably start at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
And I can good till about maybe 8 or 9. Then I'd want to probably lay down and take a nap. Yeah. Snack. Uh-oh. What's happening here? What's the meal called that's in between lunch and dinner? I call that the survival snack. Yeah, snack. There you go. Lunner. Yeah. I'm just watching the time.
It's called, but I always eat it.
What's that?
I don't know what you call it, but I always eat it.
Yes.
Yeah.
We can call it second dinner, I guess. It's always.
Jeff, you've hit your time limit.
Yep, it is 6 o'clock. I told my wife I'd be done.
Time for me to start thinking about bed.
But I tell you what, I'm really excited about that tank. I haven't had that feeling, it's like, wow, I'm going to be doing something really exciting.
Yeah.
And that's going to be a big project. I've never reset a tank that, I either had it up for years and years, and then I take it down and either sell it or get rid of it or do something else.
Yeah, a change is as good as a break, they say.
Yeah. Yep. So it's going to be good. Anyway, everybody, it is 8 o'clock or 1800 here, so that's 6 o'clock. Thank you very much, Don. We got to. Hey,
Thank you, Jeff.
What? I'm not sure if. Me and Ron are doing on Thursday. I can't do it tomorrow, but we'll see. Maybe I can check with Ron and see if maybe join us. I don't know. I don't want to invite people to his stream because it's his stream, but I'm sure he wouldn't have any problem.
Yeah, absolutely.
But you can talk to him about that. So, all right. Thank you very much, everybody. I really appreciate it.
Good night, all.
This is one of my rare daytime appearances for this old vampire. Hopefully the sun's not shining too much. So anyway, y'all take care.